I just played my last ever high school basketball game the other day, and I have learned 3 harsh truths. And I wish I knew these things as a freshman, but I hope it helps you. The first harsh truth I had to learn was this: successful people do not worry about other people's negative judgment. After a long day of school in my freshman year, I was walking out of the building with a few people around me that were just making fun of my basketball abilities. I was so tired of hearing them berate me for over an hour that I let them get into my head. So we were just walking out of the building, and I will never forget this. I remember I just got so tired of it all that I just blurted out, "Look, man, I will lead GCIT to a playoff run. We will win a championship, and I will get 1,000 points by the end of my basketball career here." I had the mindset of, oh, I'll show them, I'll prove them wrong. But none of these things that I said ever happened. And if there is one regret I have from my 4 years of high school, it would be letting other people's opinions affect me. And to add on to that, a regret I have is telling small-minded people about my big goals. For all these years, I've wanted to prove myself to others and to show them how good I was, how hard I worked, and how bad I really wanted to win. But even if I did achieve all these things, I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I was doing it to prove myself to others. You don't need to justify yourself or prove yourself to anybody except yourself. The day I figured this out was a turning point in my life. I suddenly realized that the reason why most people aren't successful is because they are fighting for their own self-worth in the eyes of other people instead of themselves. It is impossible to be self-loving if you are looking for that love anywhere else other than within. The logic is so simple, yet we all fail to realize that sometimes. It's hard to strive for ultimate success and fit in at the same time. But for me personally, since my junior year, I had to be honest with myself and say, if the price to pay for having a good life, a successful life, a fulfilling life is a bit of embarrassment, that's cheap. So I've been paying that debt ever since. Do people make fun of me for having a YouTube channel? Yes. Do people judge me for being a basketball trainer at this young of an age? Yes. I'm only 18, but I'm a basketball trainer? Yes. Do people laugh at the way I go about my life? 100%. I really found out who my true friends are when I was just starting out. People come up to me now saying that my videos are really cool, etc., etc. But in the beginning, I was talked about in people's group chats, and they were making fun of me, but being nice to me in front of my face. I didn't think I was that important to be in other people's group chats, but it still happened. People will find any way to make fun of you, so it might as well be for being successful. I knew what I was getting into, and I made a deal with myself that, with God's help, I will build my wealth and my life so strongly that nobody can ever rip it down with their words. You have the power to do this too, but you have to pay the price. It sucks to be judged. It sucks to be misunderstood. But I'd rather be judged living my best life than being told I'm doing great while living a life filled with regret and missed opportunities. The second lesson is that life is short. You may have been told that high school goes by pretty fast. I was told that too, and I didn't believe it. I remember being a freshman 3 years ago on senior night, watching the seniors have their special day, and I was thinking, man, that's a long time away from me.
All right, our first player, Mark Holman. Most memorable GCIT basketball memory is being with my teammates, who are now my brothers.
And I couldn't help but remember that statement and question how fast time went by. There is no going back. Time is more valuable than money. Money can be spent and money can be earned. Time can only be spent. I played my last ever high school basketball game, and now it's all over. I'm bringing up all of this to say, every moment is a blessing from God. So you might as well enjoy every second of it. I wish I let myself enjoy high school basketball more. Instead, I was so focused on doing well that I sometimes lost sight of the fun. But if we're not having fun, we're not doing it right. Psalm 118 verse 24, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." Make sure to work your butt off to reach your goals. However, make sure the journey to the goals is fun. Chances are the destination isn't as fun as you think it will be. The true ecstasy comes from working on your craft day in and day out and getting better every single day. The final harsh truth that I had to learn was this. For a moment, let me put you in my shoes. Freshman year, you're hyped to make an impact at a new school. You outwork everybody else and you just can't wait to reap the rewards. And you don't get a reward. You start to think to yourself, what am I doing wrong? Am I working hard enough? So you work even harder the next year. Sophomore season ends and you finish with a nice buzzer beater, but only garbage minutes outside of that and 13 varsity points on the season. You begin to think that you should quit basketball because your body isn't cut out for it. You don't have the genetics. You start to rationalize playing rec basketball instead. You had high goals that you didn't reach. But instead of doing all that, instead of quitting, you kept your head down and kept pushing even harder. You decided that you will make new goals and let nothing stop you. Junior year, all the work you put in for the past 10 years starts to pay off, and you score 410 points in one season. You are leading your team and are awarded with an MVP honor. You also were selected as a first-team all-conference player. You had yet another buzzer beater to win your team the game. And you had 64 threes that season, and the school record was 65. Then you won even more the next year. You work harder than ever, and your team as a whole has improved immensely. You are listed as a player to look out for in the state of New Jersey and are garnering a lot of attention from opposing teams. You and your team are rocking and rolling, and you score 27 points in your first scrimmage of the year. Then in the last scrimmage, before the regular season, boom, you fracture your clavicle in your shoulder, your shooting shoulder. Suddenly, the college is interested in you, stop talking to you. Suddenly, you realize you'll have to change plans. But you decide not to give up. You decide to get through the recovery process as fast as possible, and while you're hurt, you make sure to keep working on your cardio so you stay in game shape. The doctors tell you 6 to 8 weeks, but you actually start playing again in 5. But your shoulder is not the same. You airball. And airball. And airball again. But you keep pushing, and you finally start to feel a bit more like your old self. But it's too late. The season just ended, and you lost your last ever high school game. Now what? Well, you have to fight for a walk-on spot at a community college to keep your basketball dreams alive. So, you will put yourself through hell in the offseason and come out on the other side a new player. That's the cards I've been dealt. It's not pretty. The journey is not like the movies, but it's my story. And I will not allow the events within my story to write the next chapter. Nothing in life is guaranteed. So you gotta fight tooth and nail for everything that you want in this life. And never, ever, ever give up on your dreams. If you found this video helpful, click on this video to learn the one trick to playing games like you practice. But as always, keep God first. Good luck, bro. And to add on to that, a regret I have is telling small-minded people about my big goals. Oh my gosh. Dude, buddy, you just scared the crap out of me. Oh my gosh.